Hello, so today we're going to be talking about Witch Hat Atelier. I said in this video that I would probably wait until the anime is released to talk about this series because it's coming out this year, so you know, just wait a couple months and then talk about it, but I like it too much and I really want to talk about it right now. So my compromise is I'm doing a spoiler-free video for the manga to hopefully get more people's eyes on this series before the anime comes out, and then after the anime we can talk in full spoilers, we can just go ham. But before we get into the video, a shout out to today's sponsor, Rocket Money. My family has been trying to budget a lot more lately, save more money as expenses have been raising for us. Outside expenses that we haven't had previously are now coming in a lot more. So trying to manage unneeded spending and actually budget what we do need has been a great tool for us, and we have been using Rocket Money and it's been honestly amazing. I knew that Rocket Money was known for helping to cancel unwanted subscriptions, and it does. Once you connect it to your bank account, Rocket Money identifies all of your subscriptions in a single list, and then you can select the ones that you don't need to be paying for anymore and cancel them within just a few clicks, which is great because sometimes canceling subscriptions is so difficult. And honestly, I have put off canceling subscriptions and continued to pay longer than I need to just because I dread the hassle. So Rocket Money is amazing for that, but it offers so much more as well, like creating a customized budget in seconds. The app shows you where your money is going at all times and identifies top spending categories with insights on how you can stay within your budget better, and can notify you about upcoming charges and when your balance is low to help you avoid overdraft fees. It can help automate your savings, it can scan your bills and help find savings. Rocket Money does a lot, and it's honestly such an amazing tool at a time where we really need to be saving a lot more and spending a lot less. So head over to rocketmoney.com or use the link in my description to get started for free. And you can unlock even more features with premium. Thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you for checking them out. Witch Hat Atelier follows a young girl named Coco who lives in a world full of magic, but she herself doesn't have it. She lives in an ordinary house in an ordinary town from an ordinary family, and magic is not accessible to her, but she's so wowed by it, she's so in awe by it, that she still pursues the knowledge of it. She still seeks out being able to see it, and in that pursuit learns that the system is not as she's been told. So in the very first chapter, we realize that magic is not actually something you're born with, it's something attainable by anyone, but that information is being withheld because of a long span of time with tremendous warfare, where these people in power they were all warlocks and they were all warring against each other. Anyone could alter reality, could alter their abilities, their physical capabilities with a single spell. So because of that, magic became secretive and it became barred from most people. But because now Coco has this knowledge, and because she has come across a book that has runes written in it, she decides to start practicing on her own. And terrible things happen. From the very first chapter, we see the power and the gravity of magic, especially magic in the hands of the untrained, someone who is using it recklessly. Coco's life is turned completely upside down, and there are terrible consequences for what she's done. Thankfully, we have an amazing, sweet, gentle, loving mentor who takes her under his wing, promises to help, and also promises to teach her. So from the first chapter, we get some very important basic establishing world building. We see how powerful magic is, the basic components of how it's used, how much the knowledge of magic is in the world, and why it's being withheld. And because of this basic knowledge that we have, and then seeing these things in action, we can very quickly understand, okay, the systems at play, the secretivism that is happening in this world, the withholding of information, the barring certain people from being a witch. These things you can at least conceptually understand. Because in the first chapter, we see the extreme consequences that can come in the hands of one person. Imagine it in the hands of all. Then from there, we're introduced to the rest of our cast. We get more building up of our understanding of this very technical magic system. We get to see our character grow as a witch herself, but more importantly, at least to me, all of the perceptions that are established to us at the very beginning are challenged because we're introduced to an enemy that is certainly to be opposed, but their desire for free magic, their desire for not having all these restrictions, all these rules around magic, all this inaccessibility of magic, we understand them as an antagonist, but then as we start to see more of the world, as we start to explore beyond our very small borders that we started with, we begin to see the disparity that's caused with these laws and with this withholding. Like, for instance, the transmuting of flesh is strictly forbidden. Any tampering with the human self at all, except for mind erasure for those that stumble on the knowledge of magic, but they're not one of the people that are chosen to be allowed to use magic. That's fine. But the rest of it is not available. So even though we have the ability to help people, we don't. Even though there are people that would benefit from being able to have a little bit more behind them and to close the gap of disparity, we don't give it to them. And then we're challenged with this reality that while the villains are certainly villains, they kind of have a point too. We're forced to engage with some of the logic that they're using and forced to see that this is not a clear-cut issue. We're made to recognize that while the certain rules and laws are logical and make sense and you can agree with them on the surface, or at least agree with the logic of them, in action, a unilateral decision for the world can miss the effect on the individual. Then our characters are forced to deal with that. I don't have the power to change the world, but now I've seen the disparity and inequity. Now I've seen the individual and how they fall through the cracks. So what do? What's my response? That is one example of many that are showcased throughout this story, where we're presented with things and then quickly those things are challenged and we, the reader, are forced to kind of wrestle with it alongside of our characters. Several societal, social, and moral questions are presented in a way that draws the reader in to say, what do I think is right here? If I were in their position, how would I respond to this? Sometimes the answer isn't a clear yes or no. Sometimes a character has to go beyond the question presented and figure out what they think. There's one thing that's said by I don't actually know how to say his name now that I'm forced to say it out loud. I'm realizing I'm failing. Something that is said by our mentor character, that he said that sometimes the world is our best tutor. And we see that for our characters as they go out into the world and as they have experiences, they are challenged to engage with the world, to engage with the very complex problems that they're seeing and learn and grow from that, develop their worldview and their sense of justice and morality based off of more than just classroom setting education, but based on engaging with the world. The magic system in the series is at the beginning very simple. You know, you draw your rune, you have to use your magic ink, you get the spell, but it is so much more complicated than that. And we watch our characters, our main character Coco specifically, but other characters as well, have to really push themselves. This isn't something that you're born with. That's established in chapter 1. This isn't something that you're born with. This is something that you work at. This is something that you study hard. You practice your lines over and over and over again, and you grow in your mental understanding as well as in your physical skill. But also you have to think through problems and figure out how to resolve it. It's not, one word changes things or one specific rune will solve all problems under this umbrella. You really have to think creatively and figure out how exactly to get out of each individual scenario. Just the same, the world is so expansive. We are traveling. We are not contained within this atelier. We're not contained within this educational setting or within this one small village. We travel very far, and we see a lot of different cultures, different people, different ideals presented to us from place to place as we go. And there is this sense of wonder as we're exploring, as we're stepping into a new environment and we're seeing what we've only heard about once before. It's this wonder at the expansiveness of the world, not just the expansiveness of magic as Coco is entering into the magical world. The characters in the series are incredible. Coco starts off with one ally, that is the mentor that decides to break the rules for her and take her in when he really should have just erased her memory. But very quickly, Coco, through her resilience, through her diligence, through her gentle heart, she develops more relationships and more friendships, and we really get to know these characters that have their own struggles, their own things that they're really fixated on, the dreams that they're trying to conquer with what they're pursuing as well, and we see them work together. And finally, this is the thing that I wanted to start the video off with, but I decided to give you basic, you know, story beats because that's what people care about more, but I just need you to know how unbelievable this artwork is. When I first watched the trailer for Witch Hat Atelier, I thought, oh, okay, this has been recommended to me a lot. This is beautiful, has free run vibes. Maybe I actually will check this out. And then I started reading, and I was so swept away by how unbelievably gorgeous this artwork is from chapter 1. It is, we do not have to wait for this mangaka to get her feet beneath her. She starts off with skill that I don't see very often. But then as the series goes on and as you read volume after volume after volume, the art quality doesn't drop. Every single chapter has at least one piece that is an art piece that is so intricate and detailed, that works with the paneling on the page, that engages with every aspect of the page, that has this fluid motion that you follow through from panel to panel. The paneling in this series is incredible. It challenges the story to engage with the paneling itself, and it's stunning, but also the artwork, the beauty on each page is incredible. Stunning pieces of art, but also hold so much weight and implication within what they're showing you as well. If the story for Witch Hat Atelier was terrible, I would keep reading to the end just to enjoy the art. But it's not. The story is fantastic. It's very slice of life, quiet. I can almost hear the music, like the music that the trailer has. I can hear that playing as I'm reading it because it's such a soft, beautiful story. But it also really challenges our characters in very real life scenarios and moral questions. It has that balance of moments of terror and angst. The question of, is this person really on our side? Or is this person really making the decisions that are actually going to be best for our characters? This person that I trust, that I love, that I want to root for, is he actually helping us? Or is he going to cause a lot of pain and destruction with the decisions he's making? As well as the emotions of what our characters are going through and learning from these experiences. And the beauty of the art perfectly emphasizes all of these emotions that much stronger. It's ridiculous to me that I watched the trailer and it was stunning, and I thought, okay, I'll give this series a try. I've heard good things, why not? The trailer is great. And then I read the manga and then went back and watched the trailer again and thought it seemed kind of plain. This trailer seemed plain to me. And it's not. It's objectively not. It's objectively beautiful. But unfortunately, the art for this series is so breathtaking that it would be near impossible to capture that again. Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking the anime. It's gorgeous and I can't wait to read it. It just speaks to the art in the manga so much that I became underwhelmed after previously being overwhelmed because the manga is so gorgeous. I really want to talk about this series to get it on people's radars if it's not already on their radar. I want people to enjoy the anime, but I also want people to come and read the manga because it's so pretty. Anyway, that's my quick spoiler-free review for Witch Hat Atelier. I will absolutely be watching the anime when it comes out. Please do chat with me more in the comments if you've read it. I would love to chat with you more about it. I'll see you again soon. Bye.